Welcome to the second video in BoomerTech Adventures course, Unlock Safari Secrets on your iPad in just 5 lessons. Today we're going to look at the start page. Here is an overview of all of the lessons, and as you can see, we're on the second one entitled Start Page. Now, before we delve into the details, I just want to remind you that everything in this course, in this video and all the other videos, relates to Safari, the Safari app which comes on your iPad. You see the black arrow pointing at it. It's the compass. Now, some of you may have downloaded Google Chrome or another app that you like to use. However, what we're going to talk about today does not apply to Google Chrome or another browser. It only relates to Safari. So when you open Safari, this is what you will see if all your tabs are closed. If they're not closed, you remember from video 1 that you just need to go up to those 4 squares in the upper right hand corner and do a long press, and you will have the option to close all the tabs that are open. Now when you look at your start page, you're going to see there are a variety of sections: favorites, privacy report, etc. Now, your iPad start page, Safari start page, may not look identical to mine. It really depends on a couple of things. For example, I have multiple Apple devices, and so you see that one of the sections on my start page is from my iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, that's not going to show up. Also, if you're not using favorites, that's not going to show up. But if you follow along, you will get enough of a feeling for how this page works, so no matter what is exactly on yours, you will be able to be in control. So let's look at favorites and also frequently visited. The icons for all the websites you have saved as favorites are on your start page. You can click right on the icon and go to the site. That's the same for frequently visited, things that you go to regularly, once a day, twice a day, every week, etc. Now, as you look at this image, and if you've done video 1 with me, you know that I have more than 10 favorites. So notice that it does say Show All right above the Facebook icon. And when I tap on that, then all my favorites show up, or all my frequently visited show up. Now, a really useful feature from the start page is that you can delete one of your favorites from this page right here. So all you need to do is a long press, and remember, a long press does not mean it's heavy-handed. It's just your finger stays on the icon until the menu pops up. And when it does, you will see that delete is one of the options at the bottom, and so you just tap delete, and that will delete the favorite, also will delete it in the favorite section. Now, there are other options here. You can open in a tab group, which we've looked at in video 1. You can share this particular website by email or by texting. You can play around with these and see which are useful to you. Moving down the start page, you're going to see the privacy report and the reading list. The privacy report, this gives you information about apps that are tracking your internet use. We've talked a little bit about that in video 1. I'm going to go into more detail in just a minute. You have to go to settings to set up so that you are tracked. or blocked. The reading list, again, that may or may not show up on your start page. If you have saved things to your reading list, you remember that in many cases you can read that website without being connected to the internet. Not all the time, but sometimes. So it's worth checking out. So let's go back to this privacy report. If you go to settings and then scroll down to where it says privacy, you can see it there, it's highlighted in blue. And once you tap on privacy, you will see the second half of the screen. One of the options is tracking. When you tap on that, a new screen appears and you get this option. I have allow apps to request to track turned off because I don't see any reason to give anybody a reason to track my internet behavior. Now, this does not mean that I will not see ads on Facebook or Google or Amazon. It simply means that they will be ads that are not connected to my internet search behaviors. It's a personal decision. It all depends on what your feelings are about privacy. So it's something to think about. And you notice it's kind of hard to see because it's under the arrow. It says learn more. I would tap on that blue. Remember, blue text means there's a link, and to read more about privacy. Now back to the start page. You will see that under my privacy report, it says in the last 7 days, Safari has prevented 132 trackers from profiling me, and it's hidden my IP address, which is my computer address, from known trackers. This is big business, folks, and you need to be aware of it. We can't control a whole lot of it because this is how companies make their money. However, it is something that you can do some bit of control on. Now, you notice the arrow is pointing to the shield. When you tap on that, this report will show up. And again, it gives you more details. It talks about trackers being prevented from profiling me, 132. Notice that 60% of the websites I visited contacted trackers. In other words, they were willing to say, hey, this person has been here. Then, in bold, it says, doubleclick.net was prevented from profiling you across 135 websites. Well, I didn't know what doubleclick.net was, so I went looking. And here's what I found. Its whole business is to build profiles of internet users using cookies. Now, cookies are those little electronic signals that computers and servers send to one another. So, for example, I have a subscription to the Portland Press Herald. When I open it, I do not have to put in my password every time. It's because the Portland Press Herald server has sent my computer cookies, and so it recognizes my computer as a subscriber. And there are other tracking technologies which most of us don't know anything about. So again, just need to be aware that our behavior is tracked and that there are some things we can do to be more private. One is using those private tabs, and the other is using sites like DuckDuckGo to do our internet searching, and also in settings, setting it up so that as much as possible, the tracking is blocked. Now, I mentioned that I have multiple Apple devices. And so because I do, things that I have been looking for on my phone will also show up on my start page on my iPad. Again, if you don't have multiple devices, this probably nothing will appear. You can customize your start page. If you go to the bottom, you will see there is an edit button, and when you tap on it, you get options, and if you leave it green, those sections will appear on your start page. If you tap on them, they will go white and they will be eliminated from your start page. Purely up to you. No right answer. All right, so we're at the end of this video. Just a couple of big ideas that I'd like to leave you with. First is that the start page appears when you open Safari and all the tabs are closed. It has multiple sections, but it is a place where you can access your bookmarks, your favorites. You can delete them, and you can check your privacy report. Thanks for watching. This is BoomerTech Adventures. We hope that you will check out our various websites, Facebook, YouTube, and of course our website, BoomerTechAdventures.com. Thank you for watching.